Assalamu alaikum, bismillah. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit into Islam and economics. Okay, because, my degree is in economics, okay? And understanding economics is necessary to actually understand not only public policy, what's good policy and bad policy, but it's necessary to understand the world you're living in. Okay, if you don't understand how capitalism works, then you will not understand the world you're living in. Okay, so when I, developed the Islam Forward project and then my own educational curriculum, I incorporated into both of these at least understanding the fundamentals of capitalism, not only economically but historically, okay, and understanding it socially and politically, all right, because it isn't just uh, about the movement of money and goods. No, it permeates literally everything, okay. Uh, but I'm just going to go into an example, and this is just one day. All right, this is one day on Twitter. Um, and Professor Robert Reich, if you don't know him, he is a professor of economics and public policy at Berkeley in California, and he was the labor secretary under Bill Clinton. So today, what he's talking about is he's talking about uh, Gilead Pharmaceuticals. Okay, it's one of the big pharma corporations, and they have a drug. It does not cure coronavirus, but it's kind of like Tamiflu. It's like once you have the sickness, then it can shorten, the period of time. And so the drug called remdesivir, okay, is going to cost, it's a 5-day treatment, okay, and it's going to cost $3,120 to get that treatment, okay. Now that's a ridiculous amount of money when you have so many countries in the world that have socialized medicine, okay, and in those countries their pharmaceutical costs are way less than what we pay here in the U.S. Okay, this is an example of price gouging. When people, we're in a serious crisis. We've got over 130,000 people have died already from corona. All right. What I'm showing you is that this is capitalism. This is what it is, and it's always been that way. And I'm going to get back later in a following session. I'm going to talk about the history of capitalism and how it started. But here's what he's saying, and this also, I think, Public Citizen and Ralph Nader also posted on this, that this drug was developed with a $70 million grant from the federal government. Well, who pays the federal government? The U.S. taxpayer. Okay? It's an outrage, okay, that the taxpayers provided $70 million to this corporation to develop this drug, and then they're going to gouge people's eyes out with the pricing, okay, to save people's lives. I mean, it's criminal. But this is literally how capitalism works, and they're gonna profit off of it, profiting off of people living and dying. All right. And again, when you understand the tens of millions of Americans who have no insurance, okay, not even Obamacare, and Obamacare sucks, okay, and the astronomical copays, for the medicines and for treatment, when you check into a hospital, okay, it's infuriating. But now contrast that, okay? They're gouging people's eyes out, selling, a life-saving drug to the American people who donated $70 million to them. Okay, this is reverse socialism. Okay, it's welfare for the corporation. Okay, at the same time, there's fixed to be a huge wave of evictions and foreclosures because so many people have lost their jobs or have been staying home trying to protect themselves and protect everybody else from the spread of the virus. And unlike other countries, the United States did not set up a program to pay people's rent. Okay? In other countries, they literally told everybody, okay, stay home, we're paying the bills. But not here. They didn't do that here. So you've got people, and I think in another text here, he talks about, yeah, 45.5 million Americans have filed for unemployment. Okay, 45, that's like 1 out of 7 workers in this country have become unemployed. And now haven't been able for months, okay, or were able to pay their rent, but now they're out of funds, they're out of cash, okay? So they're going to be people thrown out of their homes. And at the same time, then you've got Gilead Pharmaceuticals, who's going to be raking in the big bucks. It's just unbelievable. So he says, ask yourself how, during a global pandemic, in the worst economy since the Great Depression, okay, this is worse than the crash of '07, '08, '09, all right? With 45.5 million Americans filing for unemployment, but in the same time, the total net worth of U.S. billionaires, okay, 1 out of 7 people unemployed. You're fixing to have millions of people kicked out of their homes, but the billionaires, their net worth has increased, okay, by $600 billion in just the last few months. Okay, I mean, this is capitalism. It's ridiculous. It's a crime. It's a massive contradiction. You know, I mean, human beings should not be like this. But this is capitalism, and when I come back, I'm going to show where capitalism began. Okay, and then he continues that with, okay, so why or how are billionaires making so much money during this crisis that everybody else is having their lives destroyed? Okay, you have people like Bezos, the CEO of Amazon, who's exploiting a monopoly. Okay, Amazon is a monopoly. There was somebody, I think, it seemed like she was a representative or a senator or something. Her name Leffler, who got inside information, okay, about the coronavirus and, this and that. So she profited. You've got, he gives the examples of the Cokes, okay, but it goes on all the time. It's Bezos and, everybody. Basically, they take the wealth that they make from our work and our suffering and they bribe our politicians to screw us, okay? Bribing politicians for more tax cuts, okay? They're already paying incredibly low taxes, okay? The top tax bracket in the United States used to be 90%. So a billionaire would be paying, okay, up to 90% income tax. And now it's been knocked down to below 30, and with all the loopholes, they don't even pay that. Many of these corporations literally pay zero taxes. Zero. They make billions and billions and tens of billions in profits and pay zero taxes. All right? Extorting investors. I didn't know about that story. And living off of their parents' wealth. So you've got all these poor people shopping at Walmart. Well, Sam Walton's dead. Okay, so where's all this money going? Well, it's going to his spoiled, rotten, filthy kids and grandkids. Okay, while they exploit their workers, don't provide benefits, don't allow unionizing. Walmart is horrible to their workers. Absolutely horrible. This is capitalism. This is capitalism. This whole thing. This is what it is. All right. So, Michelle, I'm going to come back and I'm going to get into the history of capitalism, how it actually operates, and I'm going to show, because so many Muslims do not get it. Okay, capitalism is not Islamic. Okay, it's anti-Islamic. All right. I'm going to talk about capitalism and libertarianism and what their problems are and how they are against Islam. Okay, so come back. Assalamu alaikum.